Hey there guys, Tom here, welcome back to my movie channel and thank you very much for joining me for my review of Star Wars The Clone Wars, the final season. Have you guys been keeping up with Star Wars The Clone Wars? Have you seen the final season? Let me know your comments right down there in the comment section below. Let's carry on the discussion and talk some Star Wars. Also, if you haven't been here before, welcome, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notifications bell so that you never miss out on my take on all things movies. I've been a fan of Star Wars The Clone Wars ever since it started way back when, like over 10 years ago now. I watched it when the episodes were coming out weekly on TV, and I was really bummed that they never got to finish their story, and I was, I had accepted that. And then they had Star Wars Rebels, which did give us a little bit of closure on the Clone Wars because they carried over some of the the loose story threads from the Clone Wars into Star Wars Rebels. And of course, bringing Darth Maul back, as we've come to learn, has never been a bad idea. It's always worked out really well. And then when they announced that Disney Plus was on the way, I always thought there was a little bit of a possibility that Star Wars The Clone Wars could come back, but I wasn't sure with all the rights issues. There was some rights issues with Cartoon Network and Lucasfilm and Disney about distribution issues and rights issues and all that sort of jazz. And then they announced that we're getting the final season of Clone Wars on Disney Plus this year, and the final episode dropped in Australia this morning. I don't know if it's out in America yet, but be warned because I am going to be talking spoilers about the final season in this video. So if you have not seen the final season and you don't want to be spoiled, stop watching right now, come back later and join me for the review. So listen, really, I just want to talk about the final 4 episodes. That's obviously the main part of this series, but I do want to touch on the first few episodes of this final season because I enjoyed the first episode, the Bad Batch episodes. I liked those episodes. They were fun. It was a nice reintroduction into the Clone Wars world, and I was perfectly okay with that. But look, like a lot of people I've seen online, I wasn't a big fan of the sisters arc in the movie. The two, I think, Martinez sisters, I think it was their names. I wasn't really a fan of those characters. I don't hate them by any means. I'm just not really a big fan of the characters, and I wasn't really sure where they were going with those characters, to be honest with you. But I get it. They needed to reestablish Ahsoka Tano and what she's been up to since leaving the Jedi, and this I think picks up basically right after she leaves the Jedi or shortly thereafter. Then once we have Bo-Katan comes back in and she recruits Ahsoka to go and help free the people of Mandalore because Darth Maul has reestablished himself as the ruler of Mandalore there. And then once we get into part 1 of the Siege of Mandalore, I'm telling you, the last 4 episodes of this series, I want to cut together and view it as one big movie, because honestly, that's how it felt. It felt like one big movie split into 4 parts. And I've got to tell you, it is the last 4 episodes of this Clone Wars series are the best 4 episodes of an animated Star Wars related thing ever, in my opinion. And listen, it's Dave Filoni. I knew it was going to be at least good, but I just wasn't prepared emotionally, physically, for how good these last 4 episodes were going to be. So let's cut right to the chase. I want to start with the Darth Maul and Ahsoka Tano fight. That was one of the best looking lightsaber fights in Star Wars animation history. It really was. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that they got Ray Park in to do motion capture for the fight. And you could just tell, if you go back and you watch some older Clone Wars episodes and you see the fighting and the action and the lightsaber battles, they all look really good. But there is such a noticeable difference when they use motion capture on Ray Park, who, he embodies Darth Maul, and you could tell in the animated character of Darth Maul, you could see the Ray Park-isms come out in that fight. And it gave this fight this sense of realism, like you're watching 2 real actors going at it with lightsabers. And speaking of Darth Maul, I was really, really impressed with how they used him. I mean, I've always been impressed with how they've used him. He is my second favorite Star Wars character. Depending on the day you ask me, my favorite character in Star Wars is either Kylo Ren or Darth Maul, but that depends on the day you ask me. Today, it's Darth Maul. But the reveal about what his great plan was, the fact that he knew little bits about what the Emperor had planned for Order 66, but his whole plan about getting Obi-Wan and Anakin to Mandalore so that he could kill Anakin, take him away from Sidious, and then, go on to rule himself, and then also get revenge on Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I love that, Darth Maul is Sisyphus. Dave Filoni has said this before. Darth Maul is the character that pushes the boulder all the way to the top of the hill only to have it roll back down on him. None of Darth Maul's plans have worked, and this plan to lure Obi-Wan and Anakin didn't work. Palpatine got to Anakin and Obi-Wan before Darth Maul did, but the fact that Ahsoka turns up and he comes out of that tunnel, it's like, I was expecting Kenobi. Why are you here? And then you get to that moment where Ahsoka almost joins Darth Maul and wants to help him, and then she realizes, wait a second, something's not right here, and then they have that amazing fight. I just love the small details in this series. The fact that, you see Dryden Voss from Solo: A Star Wars Story as one of the holograms that Darth Maul is talking to at one point. The fact that, like, in the Order 66 episode, you have Ahsoka when she's trying to connect with Rex to find the chip in his head. You have, like, I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me. The Order 66 episode, we all knew it was coming, although I wasn't sure that Rex was going to participate in Order 66. And the fact that the Clone Wars and Star Wars in general have this ability to tell a story, even though we know what happens. We know what Order 66 is. We know where all these characters end up eventually. But the fact that they pulled these episodes off in such a way that even though we knew what was going to happen to all these characters, when that happens and Rex turns on Ahsoka, it's still just as heartbreaking as it was the first time we saw Revenge of the Sith and the clones turn on all the Jedi. In fact, it might even be more heartbreaking because the Clone Wars have done such a good job throughout this series of humanizing these clones and not just making them, numbered robots in a sense. They are actual human beings, and they've done such a good job of building up the relationship over from the first Clone Wars movie throughout the series. They've done such a good job of building up the relationship between Captain Rex and Ahsoka so that when that moment happens, it's all the more heartbreaking. And I love the fact that, Ahsoka never gives up on Rex, and Rex is never going to give up on her. I love their relationship, and I'm not a huge Ahsoka Tano fan. I like the character, but I don't super love the character. She's a little bit annoying. Now, I'm going to say something a little bit controversial here, and I don't know how many of you are going to agree with me, but I am very curious to find out, so let me know in the comments section. Listen, I'll say this. Darth Maul's hallway scene in these episodes, it's better than the Darth Vader hallway scene in Rogue One. So feel free to strike me down in the comment section, but remember, if you do, I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Listen, Darth Maul using the Force, the fact that he says to Ahsoka, care to give me a fighting chance, and she won't give him a lightsaber. She's like, I'm not rooting for you. I don't care if you win. I don't care if you lose. I just need a distraction so I can escape. And then he just goes and wrecks shop. It's like he didn't need the lightsaber anyway. We just get to see Darth Maul be Darth Maul and do Darth Maul things. Okay, so I want to jump to right at the very end of the last episode, because we get to the very end of the last episode and you have Darth Vader himself visiting that crash site where Ahsoka and Rex crash landed. And he finds Ahsoka's lightsaber in the sand, in the sand or the snow, whatever it is. It must be snow because he wouldn't go there if there was sand. And he looks at it and he ignites the blade and then he looks up. And I just thought that was such a beautiful ending to this series, because honestly, like, I don't think that moment with Vader takes place very far after Revenge of the Sith at all. I think, in fact, straight after the end of Revenge of the Sith, I'm pretty sure that's where Darth Vader goes first. Then obviously they don't meet again till Star Wars Rebels. And honestly, I watched their fight from Star Wars Rebels after I watched the finale, and it just makes it that much more impactful. Now that we have a definitive end to the Clone Wars series, it's heartbreaking. It's also very satisfying. I don't know how they managed to pull this off, because most series finales end up disappointing, I think, a lot of people. There aren't many series finales out there that are good. Breaking Bad is one of the exceptions, where their series finale actually was incredible, and I don't think many people had any complaints about it whatsoever, and I think I've seen a lot of positive reaction to the series finale of Clone Wars. I myself was very impressed with this series, especially the last 4 episodes. I can take or leave the Martinez sisters or whatever their names are. I don't give a shit, to be honest with you, but the last 4 episodes, please, Disney, release it as a movie. Like, take the episodes, cut them together, put them out as one movie. I would enjoy, I'm going to binge it as a movie, to be honest with you, and just sit down one night with some pizza and watch it. I enjoyed it a hell of a lot. And as a lifelong Star Wars fan, as a big Clone Wars fan, I was very satisfied with this final season, and I'm sad that we don't get any more, but I'm also satisfied with the series. So anyway, guys, that will do it for this review. Make sure you jump down in the comment section below and let me know what your thoughts are on the final season of Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Let's carry on the discussion right down there. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Tom. Remember to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so that you never miss out on my take on all things movies, sometimes Disney Plus shows. And may the Force be with you always.